Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. And that's actually SpeakEasy's 20th anniversary year. So I'm hoping to put together some special events and celebrate SpeakEasy. And it's great to see you all here for the first online session of the year. Got a couple of notices. The next in-person SpeakEasy is on Wednesday, the 31st of January at the Source. So that would be really cool. There's going to be a special event also at the Source on what is the last Wednesday of March, the 27th of March. I'm still finalizing the details about that, and there'll be more details coming out soon. But I think it's something you might want to put in the diary. So if you make a note of the 27th of March, that would be really cool. And we might have some special guests, which means we might have a regular SpeakEasy the week before in person at the Source on the 20th of March as well. So I'm just teasing you all with that. More details coming soon. And then also another date for the diary is Thursday, the 29th of February. And that's because we're going to have a book launch. And it's Tony Hendry's collection, Back and Forth, which he asked Coldu Press to publish for him just before he passed. And it's finally finished. So Cakes and Ale are hosting us on the 29th of February, and it will start at 7:30. And there'll be more details about that coming soon on social media as well. But it's a lovely book. It's 150 pages and loads of Tony's poems. And he tried to get this collection published a few years ago, and he got whittled down to about the last 5 or something in a competition, and then they didn't go for it. But he said, would Coldu Press be interested? And I said, yes, absolutely. And his brother got in touch with the collection. And then his brother said, how about we add 1 or 2 other poems as well? And we've sort of done a collected works, really. So there's loads of Tony's poems in Back and Forth. So more details about that will be coming forth very soon from Coldu Press and Bookends. So there we are. So there's some dates for the diary. So 2024 is already off to a flying start.
Could you just repeat all of those very quickly, Phil? All those dates?
I can. So Back and Forth at Cakes and Ale, a launch event on the 29th, Thursday the 29th of February. Leap day. We've got an extra day, so we're going to do something special. And then Wednesday the 27th of March, there's going to be some special guests, all being well, coming up to do some shenanigans at the in-person SpeakEasy at the Source Collective. And then the next in-person SpeakEasy is the 31st of January. There we are. All right. Well, I'm worn out already. Oh, okay. I remember how this works. I'll do a poem now. This is called Papillon. This is the first poem I came up with this year. So it goes like this. Butterfly. My dear butterfly, you flash those coloured wings, bat away those trembling nerves. Swooped up in a fine net, you're a find most cherished, put inside a gold-lined box, looked at through a glass. Did that Lepidopterus pin you down so you can't fly away? Small sharpened steel skewer pierces silk membrane. Those wings don't beat no more. Your lovely works of art, wide open they are splayed. You don't fly, you don't flutter, you don't wave goodbye. My dear butterfly, butterfly. There you are. Thanks very much. Okay, Kelly, we're with you. You've got an event as well. What's the event tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick plug. I'm reading at Cakes and Ale tomorrow evening with Elizabeth Stott, another Cumbrian poet. Starts at 7:30, £5, including a glass of wine. And we promise you an interesting, entertaining evening. And we're hoping it doesn't snow and people can still get to it. Be lovely to see anyone who can make it. Also, I feel awful that I can't come to Tony Hendry's launch on the 29th of February because I'm organising something else that night. But I will definitely buy the book because I love Tony's poetry, and I'm so glad that you've published it. A poem. It's a funny one. I thought I'd read something cheerful to start the year off. Slightly odd, really, but anyway, here goes. Hadrian's Head. He came from a local museum, a resin Roman emperor's head that had somehow toppled off his body. The grey head with its grey curls found a place on a high shelf and stared down at us sightlessly. We didn't give Hadrian much respect. We kept on prodding our digital devices, scrolling through social media. We didn't care about his famous wall, the way he unified the Roman Emperor or the Roman Empire, or his love affair with Antinous. He made a brief comic appearance in one of my son's music videos, alarming some viewers. My other son photographed him in bed, lying on the pillow, duvet pulled up to his non-existent neck. We laughed at the video and the photo, and the emperor stared back, keeping his own counsel.
So what was the inspiration for that, Kelly? Have you a bust of Hadrian?
We really did have Hadrian's head in our house. My husband used to be a trustee at the Roman Museum near where we live. And yeah, the inspiration came from a prompt in the writing hour that Kim Moore and Claire Shaw have been doing, a very serious poem called The Gun by Vicky Fever, about the effect an unusual object can have in your house. So mine's very light-hearted by comparison.
Wow, fantastic. That's amazing.
I thought there was going to be a line towards the end there about the emperor's new clothes as he's lying in bed or something. But anyway,
Didn't
a
think of
lovely
that.
poem.
Might add it.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you very much. Okay, George, we're with you.
Thanks. I don't usually like doing these things, but I was so excited yesterday morning because through the letterbox came the Long the Long Islander from New York. I think I may have done this poem before, but I'll just do it again because I'm so surprised to actually now I've got a poem. I mean, I've been in American publication before, but I don't think I've the American press. But this is After the Burning, science lesson number 1. Students, take your rock and with one blow split open the vitrified lump on your desk. See, all the metals there, gold and silver, the silicon, those chips, the effort in this useless thing. Well, they're only found in those old tips, land destroyed, poisoned, around every major city. Imagine when this glowed, the battery. Yes, that was what they relied on. Do not laugh, that boy. I saw you hold it to your ear. You thought it funny. Often they did not speak, just fingered words onto the screen. You just shattered. Now look at your rock. There is not a mark on it. They forgot what matters most. Learn the things we can rely on. On your slate, take your stylus, scratch. The earth is all we have. Sorry about the blatant self-plugging.
No, that was great, and congratulations on getting published in that newspaper, George. That's amazing. Well done, man. Very impressive. Cool. All right, Val, we're with you. Have you got something for us?
Yeah,
this one, which is, again, it's just a bit light-hearted for the new year, and it's called What to Do Today. I have a lot of things to do, a lot to do today. I'll write a to-do list. I like to work that way. Do you write a to-do list of things to do today? Do you list the things to do, then not do them anyway? If I just did what I had to do, got on with it today, I'd not need a to-do list to help me through my day. But writing a to-do list is my main job today. I can't be the only one who likes to work that way. So I've written a to-do list, and now I've read it through, I can still safely say I've got a lot of things to do.
I loved it. Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's great. Nick Pemberton, who hosted SpeakEasy for many years and taught creative writing and poetry at the Arts College. He always said, if you're making a list, put a couple of things that you've already done on the list first of all, and then you can take great satisfaction in crossing those off, and it tricks you into thinking you're further ahead with your work than you are. That's some
I always write make a list at the top of my list.
Fantastic. You're checking it twice. Oh, that was last month. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Val. Good stuff. John, what have you got for us?
Hello.
Hello.
Last year, I had the opportunity of judging a poetry competition for junior schools, 4 junior schools on behalf of the Rotary, and they were split into age groups. And I was absolutely blown away by the creativity of the youngsters. It was absolutely privilege, and it was fantastic. And I must have messed up the judging because they've asked me to have another go at it this year. So I must have made a right mess. Anyway, I'm trying to get into the mindset of that age group because when I did the school visits, I actually read them a silly poem on the basis that anyone could do better than this. And this is my getting into this mood. I've got nothing to say. I've got writer's block. But a friend of mine said, and it came as a shock, just pick up your pen or go to your screen, or it can quite often make it routine. Scribble down whatever comes into your mind. You can go back to it later, but always be kind. I think of these words as I sit here and write. I feel the block shifting. Perhaps she was right. So this nonsense I give as a message to all. Just like you get up when you've had a big fall, don't give in, don't give up. Just keep answering the call. Keep on with your writing. And Happy New Year to you all. There you go. I could put that on a card or something.
Absolutely. That was really good. So when's your next round?
The night, by the way, the nice thing about a junior and a primary school audience is that they're very easy to please.
Well, you hope so. When's your next round of judging then?
It's sometime around March, and then the presentation's in June, I think.
Wow. All right. Big responsibility. Good luck.
Cheers. I wasn't feeling so bad about it until you've just said it's a big responsibility. I'm not going to sleep tonight now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Peter, we're with you.
Okay, thank you. This one started off with a random thought, and I thought it was going to be a light fluffy poem, and it turned quite philosophical in the end. It's fresh from this year. What if zombies are happy? They don't lead complicated lives. They don't have self-doubt. They have a clear purpose. What if they know this? What if the virus, or whatever, has invaded and fucked up the communication part of their brain, so their zeal to let us know just comes out as, ah? What if the motor part of their brain is fucked up too, so they shamble or run erratically, depending on your type of zombie, which we, with our insecurities, perceive as threatening? What if they're trying to help, offering a gift they've discovered, but we are scared of change and misinterpret their motives, so continue our fear-filled lives while they live in zombie nirvana?
Indeed, that's really good. I had an idea once for a. There seemed to be an endless stream of zombie films being made when I was studying my degree at the Arts College many moons ago, 20 years ago. And I had an idea about a zombie film where the zombies didn't know they were dead, so that they were just carrying on. So that sounds very similar to your random thought there. Yeah. That's good. I like it.
There was a lady in Glasgow who left Central Station, no, I mean Queen Street Station, and they were filming a zombie movie in George Square. And as she came out, someone shouted, "Run!" And everyone started running, and she started running and realised that she was at the front of the crowd scene in a film and was running across the road beside all these people dressed up as zombies. And when she got to the other end, she said to the guy, "I'm sorry, I've just ruined your shot." And he said, "No, it won't matter. You fit in quite well."
Fantastic. Is she in Hollywood now, is she? Fantastic. Okay, Roz, we're with you. Have you got something for us? Happy New Year.
Right, I've got this one I did the other Wednesday. I think you missed it, Kelly, because I think you went before I said did this one. No, completely lost. Never mind, this is called Afterwards, and it was just because I woke up one day sometime over Christmas and I looked out my window and there was just grey, nothing else, not a hill, not a nothing, just grey. So I took the first and the last verses and came up with this one. I wandered lonely in a cloud, unable to see the vales or hills, nor sight of our fell-walking crowd, that host of fools out in these chills, stepping in lakes, bumping into trees. I fell heavily on my knees. Then while on the wet grass I lie, I ponder much on help and food. Will mountain rescue let me die, this hungry and in solitude? And my heart with displeasure fills for folk who walk in misty hills.
That's good. Really good. Yeah, I can see where you got your inspiration there, Roz. That's good. Okay, Stephen, we're with you. You'll have to unmute. Hang on a second. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
We can. Hello.
I think I was having a melancholy day when I tried this. It's called Cover My Head. Once those fretful breezes blew lazy days away down easy streets, regaled our playground treats, crazy with others and ourselves, whirling, wheeling, twirlingly, squealingly round and loud and high, cover my head from their constant cry. Cover my head from the wild wind, hide me from the battle, small tides of gain and loss, shelter me from the roars of war, deafening fears which overwhelm me, which I cannot see, which I dare not see. Protect me from siren zephyrs of easy change in direction, which fill my sleepless nights, urging winds of change, cajoling whispers of the mighty, stealing freedoms from the free, keeping me from being me. Shield me from the drafts of age, cold rooms with thin drapes beneath the doors across my feet. Grey chills creep along the floors from high north, too far to see, blown up and round and in me, down and through me. Thank you.
Thank you. That seems
Very brilliant.
appropriate.
I like the line. Was it the draft of old age? Oh my goodness.
Well, if it didn't say that, that's what it was about.
No, that was great. Really good, Stephen. Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay, Tom, we're with you.
Thank you, Phil. What a great little group this is. What amazing poetry is coming out this evening. So I like getting books for Christmas, and I got for Christmas this year Rory Stewart's book, which I think is called Politics on the Edge, something like that. Has anyone else got it or read it? It's a great book, and I think it's particularly relevant. Well, not relevant, but it's got of interest to Cumbria because he was my MP for about 8 years, and I got him into my village hall to speak once. Anyway, I was talking to my sister this evening, who lives in Nottingham, because she gave it to me for Christmas. I did ask for it, but she gave it to me, and I was just telling her how much I enjoyed it, and she was saying, "Oh, can I borrow it sometime?" And it just got me thinking about a poem that I wrote, which I've worked on a bit more recently, but I wrote it a little while ago, which is about book sharing, about sharing books. And so, and obviously the obvious sort of route to go down is, do you ever get the books back that you lend to someone? But it's not about that. It's about a slightly different element of book sharing. And so this poem is called Corners. Corners. I come across the little corners turned down, like little footprints of your reading habits, where you've paused, perhaps been disturbed, or turned out your light as a full stop to your day. I imagine you sitting quietly, maybe curled up on a sofa, or shoulders under the duvet, coming to a point in the book, the end of a paragraph, or the closing of a chapter, and deciding to give your eyes a rest. The corners are always the same size, tiny markers. I want to buy you a bookmark, and I don't want to buy you a bookmark. I want another book with turned down corners again. I'm loving the way Kelly and George are doing the crazy hands.
That was lovely. What a great poem. That was fantastic, Tom.
Thank you.
It reminded me of Robin Ince. His recent book was all about going to independent bookshops on his previous book tour, and just exactly that, coming across books and old books and looking at the inscriptions and things that people had put to friends and things on the inside cover, and then finding those little folded corners and just exploring those little stories that books or books that you got from the library sales when they sell off old books and things, and it just conjured up a lot of the similar sentiments that you've just expressed in that wonderful poem. Every book has a story, doesn't it? Of the owner and the people who read it. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. All right, we've got about 3.5 minutes before we have to sign back in again. I've got a little story, but I'll do that later. I got a poem I can probably do in the time, similar to on a similar theme to George's poem, actually. It's called The Ever-Present Presence. It's not easy to say that. It goes like this. Oh, you got me in your pocket, you carry me around. I'm always there with you. I'm listening every time you make a sound. The places we can go, the things to you I'll show. Words, films, and pictures. We've moved on from squiggly little scriptures. And voices at the end of the line. These days, who has the time? There are no wires, no ties that bind. Instant communication, whatever pops into your mind. That little mirror lights up like a Christmas tree when you decide you want to talk to me. If the call is missed, I'll have to ring you back on that magic little device, all shiny and black. And that's that. The ever-present present. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, Kelly, you've got about 2 minutes. Is that enough time, or do you want us to sign back in?
I could quickly do one, but I must apologise and say I can't come back after we finish.
Okay.
I've got to go and get the Chinese takeaway. Okay.
You live such a rock and roll lifestyle, Kelly.
I'll have a chow mein, please.
Anyway, this just quickly, this is my grandfather's voice. Hello, darling, where is Mummy? It was Grandpa ringing from South Africa, his Yiddish English travelling across the world. He had a rumbling cantor's voice which came from deep within his barrel chest. Sometimes he sounded tearful, worried that we'd turned away from our Jewish faith. He'd ring on festival days, ask if we were going to synagogue, knowing the answer would be no. On one of his visits, he took me to a service, and I thought I was in a giant beehive, lots of old men humming and singing in deep, rich voices, just like his. This was all before the days of answer phones and digital devices. Now we only have faded photos, a young man on a balcony in Lithuania, a businessman in Durban, an old blind man no longer able to phone his daughter's family in London.
Lovely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. That was a really lovely poem, as Stephen said. Yeah, that was exquisite. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, and lovely to see you all, and sorry I have to go.
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
The rest of us will sign back in again in a second when I'll push the button, and we'll pick it up again for round 2 if that's okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers. All right. See you in a second. George, we're with you, George. What have you got for us?
Thanks. I've just dug out something because I don't often do cheery things, so I thought I'll try and join in the mood of the night. So this is I May Not Be Here. I think we met up yesterday. I could be wrong, only you can say. I joked, we laughed, you acted daft, then whispered up my nose where a mouse was in repose. I sneezed it out, so have a doubt. Were we to meet in a party hat? Were we to meet in a party flat? I sense you'll recoil when I'm covered in oil, but when I am, I'd like to add jam, so you'll be stuck on me like a bumblebee. A matter of uttermost sorrow, as I've never been here tomorrow. Moreover, I have to say, I may not be here today.
Brilliant. What was it? Stuck on me like a bumblebee. I love it.
Yeah.
That was great. Where did that come from, George? I mean,
I don't know. I just get first line sometimes, but I just like this thing about, especially maybe as you get older, you can't remember what day of the week it was and whether you did actually meet somebody or not, and whether you have had a conversation, or did you just dream it last night, or were you very drunk?
or was it the same thing? Wow.
It's nice sometimes just to let the thoughts run.
Well, that's what you can do with poetry and writing, isn't it? You can explore sort of where ideas take you. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Val, we're back with you. Have you got something else for us?
I'm going to read this one that I wrote in November when the storms were on. It's just called Stormy Weather. The wind is getting up, the branches start to sway, dead leaves begin to fall, another storm is on the way. And the rosy little apples desperately try to cling to the moving branches as in the gusts they swing. And well into the night the storm goes raging on, and the rosy little apples start falling one by one. By morning not one apple will on the tree be found, for every rosy little apple will be lying on the ground. I've got an apple tree in the garden, in case you wondered where the apples came from. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully there won't be any more trees coming down. In the there was quite a few in that storm before Christmas, wasn't there? Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, John, we're back with you.
Yeah, we had a tree come down in Storm Arwen. Do you remember it?
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
So a big mature tree just came down. So it took us ages, and the use of a neighbour's chainsaw. Luckily, the neighbour was using the chainsaw, so I just had to hold ropes and be a navvy. But these storms are terrible. So we've been we watch every now and again the repair shop, and it's amazing how an item can mean so much to somebody. Sometimes strange items, like a clown that does somersaults and a toy, things like that. So I was watching it, and I wrote this poem called Sorry with a question mark. Sorry, question mark. Why do we say sorry when we burst into tears, as if caring was something to be embarrassed about? I was brought up to choke all the tears back. My father was worse, of course, though black and white movies could bring in a draft that caught in his eye that he had to dry. I don't understand the societal norm that accepts shouting and whispering and laughing and screaming, talking in all of its forms and almost any other sound the human body can make. But why do we say sorry when we burst into tears, as if caring was something to be embarrassed about?
That's very true, John. Is it a peculiarly British trait, or yeah, you gotta wonder.
Like that line, of course, about your dad.
Yeah. It was the generation, wasn't it? Stiff upper lip and all that. Whatever happens, just see it through. Anyway, I'm not like that. I kind of blubber at anything. So it was also a reaction to you, like, come on, guys, join me a little bit. I don't want to be blubbering on my own.
That was great. Brought a tear to the eye. Okay, Peter, we're back with you. Do you have another one for us?
Okay, yeah. Strange links here, linking with George's thing about the first line just coming to him. First line of this just came to me. And John talking about seeing things through. This fits in with that theme as well. And I think it's about not fitting in or feeling like you don't fit in. And I'll leave it up to you to decide whether it's true or not, or think whether it's true or not. Okay. I shut myself in T-Bay services. I thought I'd fart as I peed, the price of getting older. A busy day for the farm shop, Christmas Eve, tills ringing in the season, the famous sausage rolls, all the families in North Face and Barber, and me pretending all is well. Strolling to a cubicle, assessing the damage, stuffing my undies in the bin for paper towels, nonchalantly whistling as I wash my hands commando. The zen of air-blade hand dryers. Then hunched against the rain, scurrying back to the car, hoping I got away with it.
What a fabulous first line.
Yes. Written in T-Bay Services itself, in the car park.
Well, congratulations, Peter. That's a modern masterpiece, I think.
I think that's the poem of the night so far.
Yeah. It's difficult to compete with that one, I'll give you that.
But is it true?
Well, let's not go there. Roz, follow that if you want, or you know.
Oops, I don't think I can follow that really. I was going to read this, so you're just stuck with it. This is just about the randomness of life. Really. If I could find the little stick on the side of the screen, I'd be able to move it. Right. I think I called it "Life is a Precarious Thing." They drop unbidden, innocence or guilt are not the cause. Bombs fall indiscriminately, leaving misery in their wake, all along their path of destruction. Broken infrastructure, broken buildings, homes, people, lives destroyed. But they did not come for you. Your only crime was to live in the wrong place at the wrong time. And ordinary people understand too well what precarious thing life is. And there are no reasons anyone can give to explain why. I should have been born in the right place at the right time and to have lived this charmed life that is mine. And that was all there was to that.
Yeah, Roz, I think with what's going on in the world, there's a lot of people, I think, having very similar thoughts about how lucky we are to live in this country.
Well, just to live somewhere that's peaceful is too much.
Yeah.
Never mind, I may have spoiled all the happy mood now.
No.
I had a funny one to finish on.
Can't all be frivolous fun all the time. We have to, you know, for the sake of variety. Okay, Stephen, we're back with you. Do you have another one for us?
Well, much as I'd like to tell one as fun as the shit in the service station, I just can't get away with that sort of stuff. However, on a serious note, we went on holiday to Durham last autumn, and we decided to go to the seaside. I'll let your imaginations run riot with that. This is called Coal Beach, post-industrial Durham. Pits closed, pit heaps gone, concrete debris flattened, their iron fixings torn out like old teeth and hauled away to rust and rot, leaving dark-sided sockets, collier spoil forced by caterpillar tracked monsters along the raised beach where grey grit skis cascade, marred in the limestone crags above, while below new thick scrub flourishes, full of gaunt teasels flecked with goldfinches, behind which pale cliffs fall into red pools, bleeding still from old mine workings, above the tide line, as though raiding orcas had made a terrible killing here, or giants had fought to their deaths with steel, sulphur in the sea air, and strange colours in the rocks of this unworldly battlefield. Warriors of today swept down the steep path onto the beach astride their vivid fat-wheeled trail bikes, thin brown young men with tattoos like heavy bruising. In short, they kneel together in the small, slow surf, picking pretty smooth sea glass from the shingle, delicately full of concentration, seeking baubles born in the glassworks to the north, rounded and reduced by years of waves, gathered carefully and patiently and destined for fish tank beds, simple necklaces or glass jars with lampshades, gleaning just as their distant toothless forebears had stooped over the stubbled fields inland and garnered a few grains for bread or gruel, each harvest Ruth's Bible story. Lifetimes later, many picked sea coal each tide from this very place to keep away the cruel cold, when too old or worn to risk shifts underground. Now plastic signs tell of a new world without coal, while the skyline has new-found shining offices above ground, looking out over nearly fishless seas, a scatter of nearly fishless birds, white floats on still heaving water.
Amazing. Amazing. I used to live close to, was it Horden or Blackhall Beach? I don't know if it's close to where you were referring to, but it was black because it was all the coal washings that had come up onto the beach, and people did used to go down there. I used to see them go down there with the sacks and fill it with sea coal to take it back for their coal fires. And if I remember rightly, I don't know if anyone will correct me, but the problem with sea coal is it spits. It burns very badly. So you put all that effort in, you know, for not the best of returns.
It was a memorable day, though.
Ah, good.
I like the word fishless. That's a good word. Fishless.
I've often been fishless.
Thank you, Stephen.
I like. Was it teasels flecked with gold finch?
Yes.
That was.
I like that line best of all, I think.
Yeah, that was nice.
Gaunt teasels flecked with goldfinches. Yes.
Yeah, because when they fly, it is like you see the fleck, don't you? Of their yellow on their tails, I guess. Really good.
Ever so pretty. Thank you.
That was really lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, Tom, we're back with you. Do you have another one for us?
I do.
Fantastic.
As the cat jumps onto the sideboard and almost knocks off a precious decanter. It really did happen right here.
You need the repair shop.
Yes. So I bought a new house about 18 months ago, moved to Cockermouth, and I have a little garden here, which is lovely to have. And it's nice when you have a garden and you sort of spend the first year just seeing what the previous owners sort of did and what might come up and what might not come up. Anyway, I've got a nice compost heap now, which I've nurtured for about 18 months now. And so this poem is called Compost. Where there's muck, they say there's brass, but peelings, hen poo, leaves, and grass, humming hummus, festering so gently, succulent earth, loitering intently, wonderful whiff, comforting crumble, masterful matter, so rich, yet so humble. So stop, compose, you know it makes sense. Meet Mother Nature, become her best friend. Create some compost, moist yummy soil, that heap in the corner, the new rock and roll. Thank you. I can only actually hear Phil applauding, but you know, the rest of you are making a good effort.
Yeah. That was great. So you, I hope you've told this to the compost heap that it's
Every morning I go down there and recite it.
Yeah.
I planted some garlic bulbs a bit late, but I'm hoping for a good garlic crop this year. And they're supposed to like a bit of cold weather. I don't know if there's any gardeners amongst you, but they're supposed to for some reason it's good for them. So I'm quite pleased it's very cold at the moment.
Fantastic.
For that reason, if nothing else.
Well, let us know when there's a poem about the garlic crop.
About 6 months' time.
I grow garlic and it grows really well round here.
Does it?
But
Have
you can
you
only do the week one, yeah.
have you got some in now, Ros?
I have, yeah.
When did you
And
plant
I'm
it?
still using this one. Maybe end of November.
Yeah, I was a bit late. I think you're sensible doing that.
Well, it came up because it was so warm. And of course it got frosty, so I'm not sure it'll do it that much good.
True. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. It's pretty tough.
Fantastic. We're getting all sorts of gardening tips and that tonight. It's great, you know.
I'm going to have to go now, I'm afraid.
No worries. It's good to see you, Peter.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Great poems, and we'll
Thank
catch you
you.
again soon, yeah?
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers, man. All the best.
Beware service stations.
T-Bay will never be the same again.
No, every time you're going to go past T-Bay now, you're going to be thinking of Peter and going, did he really have an accident there or not? Oh, well, we're back to go round again, if that's all right. Yeah. I've got a little story, because I know everybody likes stories. And I've got a little story. This is the first part in a brand new set of adventures for a certain crime-fighting private investigator hero. You haven't heard it yet, George? You haven't heard it yet? It could be rubbish. Many years ago, I came up with a new hero for our times, Kung Fu Penguin. And Kung Fu Penguin has had 2 series of adventures, and this is the 3rd one, which could put the nail in the coffin for the little vigilante detective, but who knows? But I crave your indulgence for a few minutes. So here we go. This is the first episode of Kung Fu Penguin Series 3. Don't really need to know any background. It's just daft. I think it should be a comic book at some point. Anyway, I'll see if I can remember how the voices go. It all started after a late-night drinking session with my old college roommate, one James J. Gilhooly, a lecherous fellow with a tall tale or two. It was getting late, and the old whiskey bottle was getting low. He bid me good tidings and shambled across the office in his crumpled suit and pulled on his raincoat. It was a monsoon outside. I closed the door after he left, only for a sharp rap on the frosted glass to catch my attention. I turned the handle, opened the door to see a smart-looking young lady, professional, dressed in a stylish long brown coat, staring at me with searching eyes. She frowned. I might not have been looking my best. "Hi, I've already had a visit from the ghost of Christmas past, and I'm expecting the very next spirit soon," I told her. "Is that whiskey?" she asked. "Mind if I join you?" "Yes, and yes, I do mind. Good night, miss." "I need to see you." "Well, now you have. Thanks and good night." "I've got a case for you, private investigator." "I don't have time. Why don't you come back tomorrow?" But she just walked in anyway. "Well, why don't you just come on in then? Make yourself at home." I sat at the desk. It was bare apart from the 2 glasses, one empty, the other heading that way, and of course the bottle. She looked around the small shadowy office before turning her eyes and her attention back to me. This is where we segue into the musical number, because really it's a musical. I'm trying to pitch this as some kind of show, you know. Here's a song. "I've been trying to reach you, need you to find a teacher. He's often digging in the dirt, I don't want him getting hurt. I picked up a lead, it's pretty strong. I just need you to find someone. He's a wise old owl, but there's dark forces on the prowl. I've been picking up these strings, but I think he might have found some things. I picked up a lead, it's pretty strong. I just need you to find someone. I have a feeling he disregards the dangers. I've been questioned by too many strangers. Of him nobody's seen sight nor sound, Professor Schrodinger seems he's gone to ground. I picked up a lead, it's pretty strong. I just need you to find someone. Steady on, kid. You're not making a lot of sense. Start with the basics. Who are you? What do you do? Who are you looking for? What's this all about? Didn't you listen to the song? Yeah. My name is Dr. Davinia Brush. I'm a physicist and I dabble in paranormal investigations on the side. Actually, I've been suspended from university for publishing some papers on the subject. I got my own podcast. Dr. Bobcat Investigates. Everyone has a podcast these days. Don't they, Tom? They do, don't they? I can see that the academic community might not be the most receptive audience to your extracurricular interest. I want to track down a missing archaeology professor, Chester A. Schrodinger. The story goes that the professor led an excavation that uncovered something interesting in the mountains about 30 years ago, something that the military swooped in and took control of. Okay. It's been nice to meet you, Miss Brush. It's late, and I've got a full day tomorrow. Professor Schrodinger is a very interesting person, intuitive. I think you like him. Well, he sounds like a cool cat. Tell me, sister, why is he so important to you, huh? He's my uncle. Oh. Okay, well, you must be concerned about him. The visit I got from those agents asking about him really worries me. Agents? What agents? Government types. Suits who ask direct questions and got no sense of humor. Oh, I know the type. What agency did they work for? Did you see their ID? It was some 3-letter agency. I don't remember. It happened so fast. Oh, well, it's all the same alphabet soup, I suppose. Look, I'll make a few inquiries, but I'm not making any promises. If you can track down that lead, maybe it'll help us find him. Sure. What's this lead you keep talking about? I found a name in his diary of someone he was going to be meeting with in a few days before he vanished. Someone at the fun fair. What's the name? Alaska May Fortune. What will Kung Fu Penguin discover at the fun fair? Will Alaska May Fortune have the answers? Is Professor Schrodinger alive or dead? Or both at the same time? Maybe we'll find out next time on Kung Fu Penguin. Hey, well, I'll segue into the theme song because we've not had it for... Oh, you're very sweet. You people clapping. Okay, this is the theme song. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. Wrongly put behind bars, wah wah, there wasn't a whole lot to do, wah wah. Learned to align his chakras, wah wah, and taught himself Kung Fu, wah wah. Now he fights the bad guys, wah wah, 'cause they're not very nice, wah wah. Kung Fu's where his strength lies, and he puts them on ice. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. To him it's not a matter of black and white, it's simply the difference between wrong and right. He is working day and night, always got the villains in his sights. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah, Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. Some call him cool, others say Sub-Zero, wah wah. This 3-foot feathered vigilante, he's not like your average hero. Don't eat caviar or drink a fine Chianti. He's number one, he's the best. He always puts the R's in. You really don't want to mess with a Kung Fu Penguin. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. Kung Fu Penguin, wah wah. Kung Fu Penguin. There we are. That's the Kung Fu. There we are. Thank you. It's what you've all been waiting for.
I love it. So Schrodinger is a cool cat. I love it.
That was like that was, on an album or a double album, there's always one track which is a bit different
Yes.
and sort of stands out for some of the right reasons, some of the wrong reasons. That's that track.
That's the unusual one.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic, Phil.
Thank you very much.
And there we go. We're in it. Episode 1, season 3. Brilliant.
Yeah. The other episodes can be found on YouTube at the previous Easy Onlines.
You can sing as well.
Well, sort of carry a tune-ish. A man of many talents, all of them questionable. I did say we were going to go for one more round. Does that sound okay? Have you got one for us, George? You're next. Follow that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to follow that, but I'm next. But well, I'm going to be serious for a minute, I think. But I was down in Carlisle just before Christmas there. It was great to meet up with Phil and everyone. I managed to get lost when Phil actually saw me nearly getting lost again. But that's a different issue. So I like doing this thing I call original takes, which is I just have my mobile phone and I take poems straight into the phone as I'm wandering along sometimes. Doesn't have to get you some strange looks sometimes, but never mind. But people are used to folk walking along talking to themselves nowadays because of mobile phones. So this is Peace on Earth, Carlisle Cathedral. I look down into the vault of the cathedral, the roof, reflection in the mirror, so carefully placed to catch this wonder. The stars above are now beneath, a world inverted. How many ancient feet have passed along this way? How many eyes have risen to the heavens to see above man's glory, trying to capture the beauty of the stars and the God they believed? I rise to look at the stained glass, such beauty again, such glory. I hear voices rising behind me. Imagine a celestial choir singing above, singing glory be to God. I wish I could see now the glory in the world, peace on earth, goodwill towards men.
So, George, that starts off being like impressionistic and spontaneous. Do you go back to it, or do you leave it as it first comes?
I try to not edit them at all, John. So that's more or less as it comes. Some I do end up editing a wee bit more than I want to, but the idea is that you just dictate it straight onto the phone and then try not to lose that immediacy. Because I sometimes think that editing, yeah, I know why you edit, but equally, it sometimes takes that spontaneity, that immediate raw emotion out of your poetry, and it becomes an academic exercise in how do I make this line work? Does it scan properly and all this sort of thing? Whereas if I'm just dictating into the phone, I don't have time to think about that.
And when you're actually kicking it off, do you kick it off with intent? So like, I'm going to Carlisle Cathedral, where's my phone? Or do you just get there and it occurs to you that it's the right time, the right place?
Yeah, well, that one, it was just, I've never seen that before, which I think is brilliant, because how often do you end up walking about in cathedrals and things, trying to look at the ceiling while trying to walk or even stand, and even, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a bit stiff for standing looking straight up at something. And then so there was this mirror place, and I thought, this is just fantastic. So that was what triggered it. I just booked it up, and I thought I looked down into the vault of the cathedral, the roof, and it's this inversion of thought. And then I just took it from there, just saw where it went, and was very conscious that I'm talking into the phone while there's all these folk walking about and showing the stained glass windows and things. But never mind. It was good fun.
They're thinking to themselves, how rude. Here he is in the cathedral. He's still on his phone, probably talking to his solicitor or his bank manager or something.
They might have thought it a direct line to God.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea, then. I like it.
Well, I've now got about 107 of them, and I've got a guy who's doing the sound for me, hopefully. And I'm intending to try and keep it, and you'll hear the glasses chinking, the TV in the background, the fact that I'm slurring my words because I've got drunk. And we'll see which ones we can keep and what ones will be suitable. But I'm intending to try and get this put together at some stage. And with an MP, what was Phil said, why not have an MP3 file? I said we'd have a CD to go with it, but as he says, CDs are my era or before. I would be doing tapes if it was my era.
Or a 78 or something.
Yeah, 78. Thanks, John. Yeah. The old wax cylinder in the corner.
Hey, those vinyls are very in again, George. You might be a hit with the youngsters.
I should really have a Jack Russell Terrier and a big speakerphone thing.
Yeah. Your gramophone.
Not speakerphone, you know what I mean. Trumpet.
Gramophone. That's fantastic. Keep us updated with that, George, because it sounds fun. All right. Val, we're back with you. Do you have another for us?
Yeah, it's a bit of a depressing time of year, so here's one to cheer you up. It's called Sunshine After the Rain. There is sunshine after the rain. Grey skies cannot last forever. Look for the blue in the sky, for you should never say never. Storm clouds gather over us all. Blanket of darkness descends. But finally the sunshine breaks through and the period of gloominess ends. So look for the blue in the sky and remind yourself once again, grey skies cannot last forever. There is sunshine after the rain.
That was great, Val. Thank you very much. Yeah, very uplifting.
Where is Val? Where is that reference from? Sunshine After the Rain. Is that a song or something?
No, I was just looking out the window and it had been raining and the sun came out. And I just thought, sunshine after the rain. And then it just came out.
I think there is a song, though, John. Somewhere at the back of mind, I'm saying it's the Seekers, but maybe I'm wrong.
Is it not?
Right, but that's not where I took it from. The line just came to me when the sun came out.
Doesn't James Taylor have a line? I've seen sunshine, I've seen rain. That's. But I like Val's version. I like Val's version better. That was great. Cool. We've got about 3.5 minutes. Is that enough time, John, or we could sign back in and then you have unlimited?
I'm okay. I'm poetry out, so I'll pass on to somebody else. They can have the 3 minutes 15 seconds.
All right, we'll go to Roz then. Have you got something for us, Roz?
I was just going to say this because I can actually remember it and it's short. Each morning, no, it's wrong. Each evening when I hear the owls shouting, puts me in mind of my nephew, who once said to me, he asks out every girl he meets just to see if any of them are daft enough to go out with him. So now, when I hear that lonely owl shouting, "Hoo, hoo, hoo," I know he's just looking for a twit to woo.
I am so pleased that passed. That was brilliant. And I have to leave at the end of this session. I love that. Brilliant.
I hate it. She's talking about my son.
Oh dear. Well,
you always go so embarrassed.
Because I thought of the joke, so I thought, how do I get this into a poem?
Oh God!
You have to say it was your nephew. I mean, it's just mean. That was a good poem, though. We've only got a couple of minutes. Is that? I'm thinking if we push the button, we sign back in, give the last of us a bit more time.
I've got no more.
What?
I haven't got another one.
Oh,
I've got to go, John. So if I can gallop through one before you close.
Okay. We've got a minute and a half. Go for it, Stephen.
My child's child made a clay pot for Christmas morning, clutched in bubble wrap with fingerprints on a vivid rock pool, circled endlessly by a modelled whale shark with a wide mouth, serene between tiny eyes set each side, innocent of those ghostly strings and glaucous swirls which envelop its living kind beneath the tides, eroding their freedom to circle endless seas, except here in our tinselled wood-fired home, happily deep in glitter strings, polyester, sticky tape, plastic ribbons and polypropylenes, all embedded into and surrounding the gifts we give and get, yet few as precious as a clay pot, which I hope to treasure as long as sharks have seas. I would value more those great roaming littoral fish, circling oceans endlessly, to be freed of casual discards. I wish those waters which we daily choke to be free before the last great shark stalls and slowly spirals to the deepest black, and we are left with little clay pots.
Beautiful. That was
Thank you very much, everybody. I've enjoyed this.
lovely.
Thank you.
That's
Bye-bye.
right. Cheers, guys. We'll maybe sign back in for a couple of little other notices and things, but it's been really, really lovely. And thank you.
Hi, Phil. Just called it up quickly, Phil. And Elkie Brooks had a song, Sunshine After the Rain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought Seekers. I just did something in my head, a kind of earworm thing that began to start as Ross was reading a poem, and he think, oh, I could think what it was. I think maybe that's what John had as well. You know, the line was triggered something.
Yeah, my aunt used to sing in the New Seekers.
Yeah, the New Seeker, yeah.
Yeah. I think Sunshine After Rain. It's a great image, and it's
And actually, when I looked it up and saw Elkie Brooks, I realised I've got it in a CD in the car.
yeah.
Not a CD, a stick.
Wow, you're getting more and more advanced with your music technology by the second.
No,
Joe.
it's just you don't get CDs in cars anymore. You go into CDs in computers, as you pointed out, Phil, when I was down in Carlisle. I'm just behind. As I say, I would have the wax cylinder in the corner.
I think you should try that because that's quite a unique selling point.
Got the wax cylinder in the corner.
Yeah.
But you got to find a cat to play it on, though.
Well, you could corner the market with wax cylinder players.
Yeah, well, lots of things are coming back. Who knows?
Well, absolutely. Who knows, indeed. Oh my goodness. I don't know if the other guys said they weren't going to come back, so they don't know what they're missing. This is where the best stuff happens.
Idea. I could always go away.
Wow.
Be like poetry events I've been at, Phil, where the folk come round and say, that was £10 after you've been sitting through the whole thing. Have you got a ticket? It was £10 to get in, you know.
Well, I can let on to you guys because you're the elite people who've come back for the final bit. The special guests that we're hoping to have at the end of March are the same special guests who couldn't make it to the cabaret event on the solstice. So if you can scrape together another train ticket and you want to come down, you can read some Keats with the man himself.
Well, that's the one that you're having in March, Phil.
27th of March, yeah.
Yeah, I think. Well, I enjoyed myself when I was down so much, Phil, that you might be inflicted again.
Put it in the diary, and we can.
It was really good. I really enjoyed my trip to Carlisle. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was really good.
Well, we enjoyed having you there as well, and I'm glad you gave me that message to say, can you come and give me a lift to SpeakEasy because I can't find the venue, which was perfectly fine. The source is difficult to find. It is. It's
I loved it. The other Rose and Val won't know, but I got lost, and I stopped this guy And I said to him, "Is this the way back into the centre of the town?" And he said, "No," and started to walk into the shop. And I thought, well, really, I'm lost. So I just, excuse me, what is the way there?
Yeah, well,
Actually, it turned out I was walking in entirely the wrong direction. He said, "Just turn round and head way back down to the roundabout." And I thought, oh, aye, the roundabout I walked past.
Oh, I wonder where you went, man. I don't know.
Oh, I know where I went, but I looked it up, and I can understand. But it's just that I went past the roundabout and didn't realise I had when I was walking, looking for the road. And when I walked back, and I came to that roundabout, I decided that I'd gone straight through it. So I just walked straight on, which took me heading out of town.
Oh dear. See, George is a worry sometimes, but you got to keep an eye on him. Do you guys want to read one more poem each, and then I'll wrap things up with George? Have you got another one?
Oh, I might have. Wait a minute, I've got another one from Carlisle, I think.
Cool.
Yes, I have. I'll just do that quickly then, Phil. Christmas in Carlisle. Sorry, excuse me while I find it again. Yes, bleak December in Carlisle, outside house of Fraser, the cheery tune echoing from the accordion player with red party hat and fancy jumper. Even the echo is out of rhythm, coming back from the other side, bouncing off the rain-soaked people. His fake laughter and fun in a December darkness. Trees glisten with fairy lights, the awaiting celebration. Tonight, no doubt this will be alive with partygoers. But for now, this is lunchtime and the hungry seek food.
Yeah, that's the city centre I recognise. Yeah,
I felt happy for the next day when I went along. He'd moved from the front of Fraser's, and I thought they must be saying thank God, because he'd played this. Well, he didn't even play the tune, which was the other thing I thought was hilarious. He had the accordion, but he had a tape recorder, not a tape recorder. Sorry, that shows me. But he had a recorder at his feet that he pressed that played the tune, and he just played the occasional notes, and his mate danced in front of him.
yeah, I heard
But
about
they
this.
just went in a loop. Just went round and round, and I thought, if you're inside the shop, at the end of the day, you must be banging your head off the counter.
Yes, it was mentioned at the last folk night. Ollie, who plays the accordion, had mentioned that there was a fella in the town with his accordion, but he said he just played jingle bells on a loop on a tape, and Katie was saying it was driving them crazy in the cafe in Marks and Spencer. Oh, that's all fun and games.
But it's funny as long as you can walk away from it. But I can
Yeah.
imagine that after 3 hours of that.
Yeah, after an 8-hour shift of it, I mean, that's a long haul for anybody. Oh dear. Okay, Val, do you have another one for us, Val? Do you have another one of your wonderful poems? No? Yes?
Well, I haven't really, but I'll just read this bit of nonsense. It's quite short. New Year's resolution. After Christmas excess, with little success, I went to the gym to try to get thin. It was a mistake, because now my legs ache, so I'm going for a bath. Please do not laugh. And then I'm going off to bed, and tomorrow I'm going on a diet instead.
You know, I think that probably mirrors quite a few people's New Year's resolutions, to be fair, Val. I think you've captured the voice of the people. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then we've got Roz. Do you have another one for us, Roz?
Well, the other ones I got on the pages I've got open, they go on a bit, but I can find them. Got some of these Zoom pages open.
I'm just wondering which members of the family you're going to offend this time with your.
Oh, I know. I manage quite well, don't I? Well, I've got the only ones I've got open is like that pantomime one, which was rather long, that I did at Christmas.
Fine, go for it.
Aladdin by Conservative Players. Do you want that? Just go on a bit.
Go for it. You've got the audience is here waiting for it. We want to hear it. Oh yes, we do.
When it it comes to the festive time, traditionally we enjoy a pantomime. This year we've been treated to Aladdin, which poor Cruella no longer has a part in. Her input's just not worth the money. Now her brand of evil's no longer funny. I don't think you'll not laugh, but don't think you'll not laugh anymore, because it's Wishy Wishy who makes us guffaw. Performing his merry dance, the reshuffle, us entering right with a huge kerfuffle, comes the one and only Widow Twacky, played by David Cameron, looking swanky, leading Govey, the pantomime horse, with Dominic Rabb in his rear, of course. They're chased by the Keystone Officer Shaps, who's overly prone to having mishaps. Boris Johnson takes the role of Abenazer, the baddie. He appears in a puff of smoke and yells, "Open sesame!" Apologies, the ring of that couplet didn't quite chime, but Boris never did have any reason or rhyme. We always thought he was just taking the mickey, and this part offers much to someone who's rickety. His duplicity is clearly displayed in this, so when he appears, the audience boo and hiss. Suddenly, very cleverly, Aladdin grabs the lamp and lets out a genie, played by a rather camp Jeremy Hunt, who's quite obviously nuts to think there's enough money to make tax cuts. The genie must grant Aladdin wishes, but only 3. His first was to be an MP. The second makes him Home Secretary. Then he spoke rashly but with candour about changing the law to make use of Rwanda. For the third, he said, "Oh, Genie, I beg you, I beseech, help me stop illegal immigrants landing on the beach." He wished all the black and white would come, no more, and that's how he accidentally banned zebras landing on our shore. The whole cabinet throw themselves into the finale's dance, enthusiastically embracing this last-ditch chance. But when the Conservative chorus all begin to wail, they understand this performance must fail. We shout, "It's behind you," when Rishi takes the stage, but he's totally unaware of the people's outrage. Like Princess Jasmine of Science, Innovation and Technology, apart from Michelle Donnelly gave no apology. The panto ends when Aladdin and Jasmine are wed, and this conservative production is finally dead. "Oh, no, it isn't," the party faithful shout. "Oh, yes, it is," yell those who want them out. The audience cheer madly. There's a standing ovation. A governmental change in a democratic nation. Oh, you saw I was never getting to the end of that, didn't you?
Fantastic.
Oh, sorry, it went on a bit. It's partly because I started writing it when it was the reshuffle. By the time I'd finished, a lot of other things had happened. Couldn't keep up with what was going wrong.
Oh, yeah, it's difficult to keep up with what's going wrong sometimes, but yeah, that was brilliant. I'm glad you read that. It was well worth hearing again.
Well, I'm sure it was. Yeah, because I was going to do that if I ever got to the SpeakEasy, but I never got to.
Well, still.
Well, so I saved all the SpeakEasy, the trouble of having to come.
Well, maybe sometime. You're very welcome. All right, I've got one more, and then we'll wrap things up, and I'll let you get off back to shenanigans. So this is a piece called Thoughts on Creation. Mathematics is our understanding of the mechanics of the universe. Ethics are our creation. Time is our creation. Rules of law are our creation. Marriage is our creation. Language is our creation. Science is a methodology for testing our knowledge of reality. Art is our creation. Myth is our creation. Religion is our creation. Stories are our creations. Imagination leads us to creation. Emotions and feelings are thrown in the mix. Hoax and deception play their tricks. Reality is only our perception, whilst nature knows its destination and always finds its way. There you are, some thoughts on creation. Oh, thanks very much, everybody. Right, there you are. That's the end of another Speakeasy Online. Give yourselves a round of applause, everyone who read and everyone who listened. and everybody who left before the end, and everyone who stayed. You guys are legends, you know that. We'll do it all again soon. As I say, there's a speakeasy in person on the 31st of January, and then we'll do one online next month. And watch out for those events. And yeah, get home safe, everybody.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, George.
Thank you. It's been terrific. All right. Take care.
Yeah.
See you again soon.
Bye.
See you then.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.